the first thing that grabs you isn't the money. It's the music. A rising chime, reels blooming like fireworks, a cartoon mascot waving you closer. Someone stands up with a thick ticket and an even thicker grin, and the chair is still warm when you slide in. The screen promises 100 lines, 3 different bonuses, and a jackpot meter pulsing like a heartbeat. You press spin. Coins dance. Win flashes across the glass. 32 cents back on a 60-cent bet. Again. Your credits drift down in tiny steps, and the machine keeps applauding you for losing. I used to watch this pattern all night. The loudest games handing out stories instead of paychecks. Not broken, just built to turn attention into action and action into time. But there's a tell, and once you see it, you can unsee it. The machines that never pay out the way you hope were the same costume. Bloated paytables add-on boosts progressives that tax the base game near misses engineered to feel like progress. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to spot them before you ever touch the button, so you can save your bankroll, keep your cool, and choose the story on your terms. Ready to see what the floor doesn't advertise? You step onto the floor, and it's a wall of color. Reels flashing, bonus coins exploding on screens, that soft chime that makes every spin feel like a small celebration. You drift to the machine with the biggest billboard promise. This one pays, your gut says. But here's what most players never notice. Never pays rarely means zero payouts. It means machines designed to drip tiny wins while protecting the house over time. The secret isn't a hidden switch. It's the math you're not supposed to feel. Slots are built on RTP, return to player, usually expressed as a long-term percentage, and volatility, how bumpy the ride feels. A machine can advertise 94% to 96% RTP, but that return unfolds over millions of spins. In the short run, what you feel is volatility, long droughts, then fireworks. I used to watch players cling to a flashy, low-denomination, penny-style slot with a massive top prize. The screen showered them with wins that didn't cover the bet. $0.30 back on $0.60 spin, while the credit meter quietly bled. They walked away believing it never pays. But the machine did exactly what it was designed to do. Convert time and attention into small reinforcements, not sustained profit. Redefine pays as net positive sessions, not frequent sparkles. Look at paytables, not just themes. Fewer lines at a higher denomination with a solid paytable often beats 100 lines of confetti. Would you have guessed that more action can mean more expensive losses? You don't just pick a machine, the floor picks you. The carpet patterns funnel your eyes toward bright aisles. Towering penny cabinets line the walkways, spinning nonstop demo reels like neon lighthouses. You feel pulled because you are. Casinos design sightlines so your first glance lands on maximum attraction, maximum hold games. Not broken machines, just the ones least likely to let your bankroll breathe. I watched this play out every shift. Foot traffic routes past oversized carousels with booming soundtracks and animated characters waving you in. Those cabinets aren't there by accident. High visibility placement favors entertainment first. High volatility games, the kind that produce cinematic bonuses and long dry stretches between them. Meanwhile, modest-looking, better-paying options get tucked to the side, near walls, locals' corners, or deeper banks away from the main flow. You chase the party quietly chases your chips. Here's the part most players never realize. Frequent mini-wins in high-traffic machines create an illusion of momentum. The credit meter slips while the audio keeps your mood up. That's behavioral design, lights, proximity, and pacing, doing the heavy lifting. Do a slow lap before you sit. Map the floor with intention. Step off the main corridor and note quieter banks, straightforward themes, and cabinets publishing clearer paytables. If a game needs a movie trailer to sell itself, assume the hold rate will ask for the ticket back, with interest. Ask yourself, is the machine loud because it's generous, or because it needs to be? You can read a slot the way a card counter reads a shoe, if you know what to scan. Start with the paytable button. If it opens to 8 pages of characters, multipliers, expanding wilds, scatter ladders, and 3 different bonus paths, you're likely looking at higher volatility, translation, longer droughts between meaningful wins. Next, check the top prize relative to your bet. If a 60-cent wager can trigger a $5,000 plus headline jackpot, the game has to save for that moment somehow. usually by stretching the gaps. Now look at line count and minimum to qualify features. Machines that require max lines plus side bets to unlock the better bonus or progressive contribute to that never pays feeling when you play underqualified. I watched a regular play a 100-line penny game at minimum per line, missing key multipliers that only activated higher bets. He wasn't unlucky, he was underbetting the design. Progressives add another signal. Small, frequent progressives, must-hit buy meters, can keep you engaged but shave the base game payback. Giant linked jackpots often mean the base game feels tighter while you're chasing. Also sneak a glance for low-frequency symbols and stacked wilds. Exciting when they land, but empty spins stack up when they don't. Build a 20-second scan, paytable length, bet-to-prize ratio, feature qualifiers, and whether a progressive is taxing the base game. If 3 or more scream, high variance, adjust your budget or move. Quick question, are you picking the thrill you planned for, or the drought you didn't see coming? Penny slots sound friendly, like you're buying spins with pocket change. But stand in front of one and do the math. The screen invites 50, 75, even 100 lines. The minimum per line might be 1 cent, but the machine nudges you to play all lines to unlock the experience. Suddenly, your so-called penny spin costs 50 cents to $1.50. Add a side bet for a bonus reel or feature boost, and you're easily at $2 a spin without feeling it. The cabinet still says penny. Your bankroll says otherwise. Here's the layer most players miss. Denomination affects typical RTP ranges. In many jurisdictions, higher denomination games, quarters, dollars, are often configured with higher theoretical payback. But that doesn't make them cheaper. $3 high denom spin with a 96% RTP can drain you faster than a $0.75 spin at 92% if you not bankrolled for the variance. I once watched a tourist switch to $1 denom chasing better odds, then tighten up after 5 quick losing spins, right before the bonus cycle likely returned. The game wasn't cold. His bankroll didn't fit the bet. Also watch the cost of features. Some machines bury the best multipliers behind bets 2x and above. Underbet them and you feel like the machine never pays because you locked out of the good stuff by design. Calculate true cost per spin before your first pull, lines times bet per line plus feature add-ons. Choose denomination to match your session budget, not the marketing label. Have you ever seen penny play like dollars? You land 2 jackpot symbols, and the third stops just 1 space above the payline. The screen size, the lights flare, and your heart does that tiny jump, so close. That feeling isn't an accident. Near misses are engineered to feel like progress, even though mathematically they're losses. Your brain codes almost as information. Keep going, you're on the right track. But here's what most players never notice. The machine isn't getting warmer. The outcomes are independent, and that dramatic almost win is part of the normal distribution of misses designed to keep you engaged. I once watched a guest ride a 40-minute drought because every few spins the reels teased. 2 bonus icons, the third winking by. He kept saying, "It's building." It wasn't. The symbol frequencies and reel mapping allowed for frequent teases, and the cabinet paid him with confetti and sound for losing spins that returned less than the wager. He left convinced it never pays. But the machine did exactly what it's meant to do. Exchange dollars for stimulation and time. Look at how the game treats near misses. Big animations for almost, small fireworks for 20-cent wins on 60-cent bets. That imbalance of feedback makes your memory of the session feel better than the math. Reframe near misses as noise, not signal. If an almost triggers the urge to chase, pause for 60 seconds and check your session ledger. Starting credits versus current. If you're down and relying on it's close, you've slipped into the near-miss loop. The bonus round is the fireworks show. Music swells, reels expand, coins rain down. Your pulse jumps because, finally, something's happening. But here's what most players never notice. That show has to be funded. If a game promises cinematic bonuses with multipliers, extra reels, or hold-in spin features, the base game often tightens to pay for the spectacle. You get long stretches of light hits while the machine banks for those headline moments. It's not a conspiracy. It's how the math balances entertainment with the house edge. Watch how the cabinet sells the sizzle. A side bet labeled feature boost scatter symbols that unlock, progress meters, or bonus reels that activate only at a higher wager. I once tracked two neighbors on the same title. One played base only, the other added the boost. Boost player hit a loud, photogenic bonus twice, but his average return per 100 spins barely edged the base player because the side bet taxed every spin. The machine gave him a better story, not necessarily a better outcome. Pay attention to trigger frequency. If the pay table hints at rare symbols, stacked wilds, or multi-stage entries, collect X, then unlock Y. Expect droughts between the fireworks. When the meter is close to the ceiling, the expected value of your spin improves because fewer dollars remain to be collected before someone triggers it. I once watched three regulars orbit a bank of must-hit-buy machines, waiting for one to cross their personal threshold. They didn't chase early. They waited until the meter was within the last 10 to 15% of its range, then played with discipline. Not a sure thing, just better math than jumping in cold. Linked wide area progressives? Bigger headlines, stingier base games. Fun, yes, but be ready for long stretches of air between meaningful hits. And remember, chasing a meter that's far from the top is usually paying extra for the privilege. Set rules before you play progressives. Only sit if the must-hit buy is near the top of its range, or skip it. Track your base game hit rate after 50 spins. If it's anemic, bow out. The player's club desk looks harmless, smiles, lanyards, a little plastic card that promises more value. And you should use it. But here's what most players never notice. Comps are a rebate on action, not on profit. The casino tracks coin in, the total you cycle through the machine, not your net. If you run $5,000 through a high-hold penny game and cash out $3,700, the system still celebrates the $5,000 in or theoretical loss. You'll get offers for rooms, buffets, and free play because you fed the math, not because you beat it. I watched a host quietly coach a regular. Keep your average up during the first hour. That's when analytics take the snapshot. The player obliged, fast spins, max side bet activated, credit meter tumbling. Offers improved, bankroll didn't. The card is a tool, but it can become a steering wheel, nudging you toward longer sessions, higher wagers, and volatile titles that generate prettier theo. Those offer calendars you love. They're carefully timed to draw you back right when your last pleasant memory is still warm. Use comps with intention. Redeem free play, sure, but remember it's often locked to specific machines or denominations that benefit the house's goals. And points multipliers can tempt you to play past your stop because today is a 5x day. Separate your session budget from your card strategy. Decide bet size and time limit before you swipe. Then treat comps as a coupon, not a goal. Track coin in versus cash out for honest ROI on free perks. Have you ever played longer just to hit a tier? You hear it at every aisle. This one's hot. That one's due. I get it. The last player just hit a bonus. The chair is still warm. But here's what most players never notice. Modern slots run on a random number generator, an RNG, that's cycling thousands of numbers per second. The instant you press spin, it snapshots a number and maps it to an outcome. Past spins don't load the dice for the next one. There's no memory, no heat, no cold. Just math and timing you can't feel. I once watched two friends time a machine. Player A walked after a dry patch. Player B slid in and hit a feature within 3 spins. Told you it was heating up, they said. What actually happened? Different timestamp, different RNG pull. It's easy to assign meaning after the fact. The human brain hates randomness and writes stories to soothe it. Time of day myths. Same deal. The casino doesn't flip a switch at midnight. What changes is traffic. More players means more events you'll see, wins, bonuses, so it feels hotter. Vouchers left in the tray, lucky seats, machines that wake up after a hand pay. These are patterns of attention, not patterns in the code. So what can you control? Your bet size, pace, and and machine selection relative to variance. That, plus when to stop, determines the shape of your session more than any superstition. Swap, hot/cold, talk for a quick audit. RTP posted, paytables simple or labyrinth. True cost per spin fit your budget? If not, walk. Let's put you in control. Before the first spin, decide two numbers, your session budget and your stop loss. If you bring $200, maybe you'll risk $120 today and keep $80 untouched for another visit. Within the $120, set a stop loss, say $80, and a win goal, maybe 40 to 60% of that bankroll. Now the pace. Most players burn money with speed. At 10 spins per minute at $1.50 a spin, you're cycling $15 a minute, $900 an hour. Slow to 5 to 6 spins per minute, and you immediately stretch time, variance, and your chances of touching a feature. Use envelopes, physical or digital. Load a ticket for each mini session. When it's gone, you're done, no top-ups. I watched a regular switch to 20-minute blocks with a timer. They stood up every break, win or lose, checked credits, and asked, would I buy another 20 minutes at this cost? The simple pause changed their year more than any system. Bet sizing matters. If a game feels drowsy after 40 to 60 spins, it's probably too volatile for your budget at that stake. Downshift denomination or lines to keep your decision space open. And when you hit early, don't raise bets out of euphoria. That's how small wins become long losses. Bank half of any bonus above your buy-in. Play the rest at your original stake. Pick a pace, spins per minute. Set a timer and pre-write your exits. Stop loss hit? Leave. Win goal hit. Bank it and reassess. If your hands speed up after a near miss, that's your cue to breathe and reset. Here's how smart players press without lighting their bankroll on fire. Bet ladders and denomination pivots. A bet ladder isn't about chasing losses. It's about structuring your stake to sample variance, then retreat on schedule. Denomination pivots work the same way. Some titles offer the same game in 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents. Higher denoms sometimes post better RTP ranges in certain markets, but they also magnify variance per spin. So you pivot temporarily. Sample 10 to 15 spins at a higher denom only if your budget can survive a cold patch, then evaluate. If the base game returns steady line hits that cover 60 to 80% of wager across a block, you can keep sampling. If not, drop back to the original denom and extend time instead of force paying for the better odds. I once watched a disciplined regular do 3-step ladders. Base bet modest raise after a small hit, immediate reset after a feature, win or lose. Their sessions looked lucky, but really it was structure, not superstition. Pre-write your ladder. Example, 40 spins at $0.60, 25 spins at $0.90. If down, 30% reset to $0.60 after any feature. For denoms, cap the sample at 10 to 15 spins, then decide. No hunches, only rules. If the aisle unit looks identical but pays less per symbol or locks features behind higher bets, choose the quieter twin. This is the moment you stop playing blind. Imagine you've just sat down. Before your first spin, you run the pocket checklist, 60 seconds, tops. First, paytable depth. If it's 8 pages of lore and ladders, tag it high variance. Second, true cost per spin. Lines times bet per line plus any feature boost. Say it out loud. If it makes you wince, move. Third, price to bet ratio. A tiny wager promising a life-changing jackpot usually means longer droughts. Fourth, Feature qualifiers. Do multipliers or progress meters only unlock at higher bets? If you can't afford the real version of the game, don't play the decoff. Fifth, progressive tax. Is there a must-hit buy or wide area pot shaving the base returns? If the meter isn't near the top of its range, skip the chase. Sixth, cabinet placement. Main aisle carnival or quieter wall bank. Flash off and equals hold. Seventh, quick sample. Commit to a 25 to 40 spin test at a conservative stake. Track net, not animations. Did line hits cover at least half your wager across the block? If not, pivot. Here's the shift most players never make. You're not hunting magic. You're filtering for fit. The right machine for your budget isn't the loudest. It's the one that lets you make more smart decisions per dollar. Keep a phone note with the checklist and 3 rules: stop loss, win goal, pace. When you set pace, pre-write exits, and pick games that match your bankroll, you shift the session from reaction to intention. That's the win you can bank every single visit. Your final checklist: 1. Budget, stop loss, win goal. 2. 60-second machine scan. Paytable depth, true cost, price to bet, qualifiers, progressive tax, placement. 3. Pace, 5 to 6 spins slash min. 4. Spin blocks with resets. 5. Walk on schedule, not emotion. Have you noticed this in your local casino? The moment the room tries to speed you up, that's your cue to slow down, smile, and play on your terms. The casino breathes before it speaks. Air cool, carpet warm, 1,000 reels whispering the same lullaby. You follow the music to a machine that looks like a parade float: stacked symbols, glowing meter, a bonus button that dares you to press it. Someone just cashed out with the ticket still warm. This is it, you think. But watch closely. The machine pays in applause, not in profit. Mini wins confetti your screen. 30 cents back on a 60-cent spin, while the credit meter slides like sand through your fingers. That's the pattern almost nobody sees. Not a broken game, but a design that trades stories for staying power. In a minute, I'll show you how to spot the machines that never pay in the way that matters. Net positive sessions before you ever sit down. You'll learn to read the tells. Bloated paytables, jackpot math that taxes the base game, progressives that look generous but drink fast, near misses that feel like clues but aren't. Tonight, you won't chase the chorus, you'll hear the math behind it. Quick question: have you ever walked away asking, where did my credits go? Good, you're about to find them. Before we name names, let's agree on what never pays out really means. It doesn't mean a machine never spits a ticket. It means that for the average player, over a normal session, the game is built to drain faster than it entertains. Lots of noise, very little oxygen. You'll feel active, you'll see animations, you'll collect tiny wins under your bed, and you'll leave wondering how the math snuck past you. That's by design. Here's your foundation. Every slot is driven by 2 levers: RTP, the long-term percentage theoretically returned to players, and volatility, how the returns arrive. High volatility isn't evil, it's a choice. Longer droughts, bigger fireworks. But combine high volatility with bloated features, side bets, and a progressive tax, then place it on an aisle with the volume cranked. You've got a machine that pays in spectacle while quietly increasing the house's hold on your bankroll. I once shadowed a tech during meter reads. The games that sounded like carnivals recorded the highest coin in and the highest average loss per hour. Not rigged, just perfectly tuned to your attention. The cabinets tucked against walls. Fewer selfies, steadier line hits, calmer credit meters. So, when an ex-employee says, "these never pay," we mean, this combination of paytable complexity, qualification rules, and placement tends to punish casual budgets. Your edge is recognizing that cocktail before you order it. Define success up front: time on device you can afford, a stop-loss you'll honor, and a minimum hit frequency that keeps you breathing. If the first 30 to 40 spins don't meet that bar, You're not unlucky. You're in the wrong bar. Walk the floor like a scout, not a tourist. Start at the entrance sightline. Whatever you can see from 20 feet out is engineered to dazzle. Tower cabinets, licensed themes, cinematic soundtracks. Those banks rake in coin in because they're impossible to ignore. Good for the house, rough on a casual bankroll. Drift past the cage and the players' club. Notice the carousel of penny games anchored there? That's not hospitality. It's a funnel. People cash tickets, grab a card swipe, and sit, just for a minute, at the highest hold entertainment machines on property. Follow the sound. Areas with constant bonus jingles and crowd noise tend to house volatile, feature-heavy titles that sell stories over steady line hits. Now pivot away from the freeway, along walls, behind pillars, near poker rooms, or by a Kino nook. You'll often find simpler video reels or lower-profile classics with clearer paytables and calmer credit meters. Locals know these pockets. Tourists rarely do. Watch for demo reels. The cabinets endlessly auto-spinning a fake bonus to build FOMO. Great marketing, thin oxygen. Also clock foot traffic choke points, near restrooms, bars, or sportsbook lines. Short sits, high turnover, lots of just a few spins. That's where high-hold games live. Conversely, modest 3 or 5 reelers tucked in a quiet corner. Less sizzle, more baseline stability. Do a 2-lap recon before you buy a single spin. Lap 1, mark the hype zones. Lap 2, mark the quiet banks. If your plan is to stretch time and test variance, pick from the quiet list first. Some machines wear their intent like a billboard. You can spot the drainers from the splash screen if you know the archetypes. First, the licensed blockbuster, movie characters, rock bands, TV catchphrases. You're paying for the brand and the show. Expect stacked bonus stages, voice lines, and side bets that enhance features. Fun, absolutely. But the base game often feels like breathing through a straw. Second, the 100-line penny parade. The screen brags up to 100 lines, with glittering micro-wins. Those 12 cents, 18 cents, 24-cent celebrations on a 60-cent spin create a sense of momentum while your credit meter drifts down. The splash often touts, win on any line, more than it shows real pays. Third, collector ladders and meters. Gather 50 tokens to unlock the super feature. That's an invitation to chase sunk cost. If progress only moves meaningfully at higher bets or resets often, prepare for long, quiet stretches. Fourth, ways games. 243, 1,024 ways to win, where each symbol pay is tiny. Hits are frequent, but many don't cover the wager unless multipliers stack, which they seldom do on schedule. Fifth, hold and spin with add-on boosts. The base game plinks, the hold feature headlines. A boost button taxes every spin for the chance to juice the bonus you might not see. Read the poster like a contract. If the splash prioritizes brand art, meters, and enhancers over a clear paytable panel with line pays, tag it as entertainment first. If your goal is time and steadier returns, pivot to simpler, non-licensed versions nearby. Have you ever realized 2 aisles over there's a plain-looking clone with cleaner pays? Next, we'll walk through real-world seat swaps and how a 2-minute comparison turned one viewer's never pays night into a manageable session.